Okay, let's start. So for this day, we will be discussing the branches and scope of criminology. Okay, yan. The study of criminology involves multidisciplinary field of science. We were able to discuss this before. I think sa pinakaunang lesson pa natin na ang criminology, hindi lang siya, it's part of social science. At sa social science na yun, madaming kakonek itong criminology. So, ito nga ang isa dito. So, this includes the following but not limited to. First is criminal sociology, the study the effects of social conditions on crime and criminals, including the machinery of justice and the evolution of criminal law and punishment. It may also refer to the study of crime focused on the group of people and society as a whole because crime happens in society, 'di ba? So hindi lang yung krimen mismo o krimen per se ang pag-uusapan natin sa criminology. Kung hindi, pati kung saan nangyayari yung crime doon sa society pag-aaralan din natin. It is primarily based on the examination of the relationship of demographic and group variables to crime. So we will study pati yung mga contributing factors in society why crime is happening in that certain society. Kaya nga, ayan, no, relationship of demographic and group variables to crime. Another is criminal psychiatry, study of human mind in relation to criminality. This field of study blames mental disturbances as factor to criminality, the science that deals with the study of crime through forensic psychiatry, the study of criminal behavior in terms of motives, drives that strongly relies on the individual. So, psychiatry, well, technically, it's uh, related sa medicine. But when we pertain to criminal psychiatry, specific nating pinag-aaralan ang pag-iisip ng isang, sabihin na nating criminal or isang offender, kung bakit siya nakakagawa ng krimen. So, scientific ang basis dito sa criminal psychiatry. Kaya nga dyan, no? This field of study blames mental disturbances. May sakit sa pag-iisip. Okay. And then criminal psychology, the science of behavior and mental processes of the criminal. It is focused on the individual criminal behavior, how it is acquired, evoked, maintained, and modified. Take note ha, iba ang psychiatry sa psychology. Kaya iba rin ang trabaho ng psychiatrist at psychologist. Kasi sa psychiatry, ang pinag-uusapan o ang pinag-aaralan is the human mind. As in, literal na yung brain. Sa psychology, yung behavior, yung mental processes, kung papaano nag-iisip ang isang kriminal. Gets nyo? Magkaiba yun ha? Psychiatry and psychology. Ang psychiatry, nabanggit nga natin kanina, it's more related sa medicine. Kaya, usually, psychiatrists are doctors, medical doctors. Psychologists are graduates of psychology. Kung dito sa Pilipinas, graduate sila ng BS Psychology, tapos graduate din sila ng Master sa Psychology. May separate na board exam kasi yan eh. Kapag graduate ka ng BS Psychology or AB Psychology, depende sa school, ang board exam na kukunin mo ay para maging registered psychometrician ka. And then magti-take up ka ng masters at kapag naka-graduate ka na ng masters, mag-a-apply ka ulit for board exam. Magti-take ka ulit ng board for psychologist. Magkaiba yon. Okay. Next is criminal ecology, the study of criminality in relation to special distribution on a community. Social ecology may be broadly defined as the study of the social and behavioral consequences of the interaction between human beings and their environment. It specifically explores the causes and consequences of processes of segregation the emergence through selection of environmental differentiation along key dimensions such as population composition and land use. So, literal na tungkol sa ecology, sa ito, interaction between human beings and their environment, as in yung physical environment kung nasaan sila. Kasi may mga pagkakataon or may mga theories na related sa criminal ecology na kung saan daw located ang isang tao ah, sa kanyang environment ay maaaring contributing factor kung bakit nakakagawa siya ng krimen. Okay, sana ako. It investigates how exposure to different environments, area, and place-based differential social organization and activities influences human development and action. Okay. Another is criminal demography, a study of the relationship between criminology and population. Demography is the science of populations. Okay. Demographers seek to understand population dynamics by investigating three main demographic processes: birth, migration, and aging. So all three of these processes contribute to changes in populations, including how people inhabit the earth, form nations and societies, and develop culture. Criminal demography looks at these three main processes in relation to increase or decrease of crime rate. So, demography pertains to population. Iba ito sa ecology kasi si ecology as in the physical environment kung nasaan yung tao. While demography are the people in that environment, yun ng population. At saka yung relationship nga daw ng birth, migration, and aging. Okay. Next is criminal epidemiology. Study of the relationship between environment and criminality. Epidemiological criminology involves the study of anything that affects the health of a society, be it crime, flu epidemics, global warming, human trafficking, substance abuse, terrorism, or HIV/AIDS. One reviewer astutely and succinctly added, "Epicrim is the study of crime as a disease." As we go along with our discussions, uh, ma mapag-aaralan natin na ang isang kriminal ay tinuturing na may sakit. Ano bang ginagawa? Saan dinadala ang may sakit? Sa ospital, 'di ba? Anong ginagawa sa kanya sa ospital? Pinagagaling, 'di ba? Ganon din ang kriminal. Tinitignan siya bilang isang taong may sakit. So ano ang dapat gawin sa may sakit? Hindi daw dapat parusahan. May sakit ka na, parurusahan ka pa, di ba? Hindi daw dapat ganon. So ang dapat gawin ay pagalingin siya. I-treat daw dapat ang mga criminal. So, naisingit ko lang. Pero dito muna tayo sa criminal epidemiology. So, according to this unnamed source, one effective definition of disease for the epicrim argument is that disease entails illness, sickness, and ailment due to genetic, developmental, infectious, poisonous, nutritional, toxic, or poor environmental factors. However, the best definitional fit for epicrim is yung sinabi ni Webster. Okay. Environment and criminality. So, specifically, yung health of a society. Yun. Okay, next is, okay, victimology. May separate subject kayo dito. Victimology, obvious naman, di ba? Study of victims. Study of the role of the victim in the commission of the crime. May partisipasyon ba ang biktima? Kaya siya na biktima. Victimology is the study of victimization, including relationships between victims and offenders, interactions between victims and the criminal justice system, and connections between victims and other social groups and institutions. Okay, another is anthropological criminology or criminal anthropology. It is a field of profiles of offenders based on the perceived links between the nature of a crime and the offender's personality or physical appearance. So kung ano yung itsura kapag pangit ka, kriminal ka. Kaya delikado yung karamihan sa inyo. Good luck na lang. Ganon. May ganyang field talaga. Later on, mapag-aaralan din natin yan. Kapag, ano to, pag malaki daw ang tenga, yun, criminal daw yun. Kapag, well, basically, kapag mukhang unggoy, yun, criminal daw yun. And we call that atavism. Diba? Legit yan. Pero, tsaka na natin pag-uusapan. Yan, that's anthropology, criminal anthropology. Oo nga, pag mukhang unggoy. In short, kapag pangit. Okay, criminal justice. So criminal justice refers to the crime control practices, philosophies, and policies used by the police, courts, and corrections. Iba ito sa criminology ha. Related sila. Katulad nga college natin, di ba? College of Criminal Justice Education, kung saan under ang BS Crim. Okay. So the study of the various process and measures adopted by society in cases of violation of criminal laws. So ito yun, the detection and investigation of crimes, the arrest and apprehension of criminals, the prosecution and conviction of the criminal in a judicial proceeding. So, pag sinabi nating criminal justice, ito yung paraan ng pagpoproseso natin sa isang kriminal, kung papaano siya mabibigyan ng hustisya, or kung hindi man yung criminal ang mabigyan ng hustisya, of course, the victim. Pero yun nga yung term natin as criminal justice. Kung papaano yung, yan nga, proseso, papaano yung mga practice, yung mga policy na ginagamit ng mga pulis at saka sa korte, pati na rin sa corrections. Okay? So criminal justice is the enforcement of laws, decrees, and regulations, the administration of the police and other law enforcement agencies, maintenance of recreational facilities and other auxiliary services to prevent the development of crimes and criminal behavior. Okay. Next is criminologist. Sino yon? Yan. Criminologists are interested at how criminal laws are created, who has the power to create them, what are the purpose of such laws, how they are enforced and violated. In short, ang isang criminologist, pakilamero. Pinapakilaban niya lahat. Bakit ginagawa ang isang batas, ang isang criminal law? Bakit, uh, para saan ito? Kailangan ba ng bagong batas para ma-prevent ang ibang uri ng criminals? Parang dati. Dati wala pa namang computer, di ba? So wala pang cybercrime. Eh ngayon, may computer na. Halos may access na rin ang karamihan sa atin. Katulad yan ang ginagawa natin ngayon, di ba? May access tayo sa internet. So, nagkakaroon ng bagong avenue or ng bagong venue ang mga kriminal. Yun na yung cyberspace. Kaya kailangan ng batas para ma-prevent ang cybercrime. Yun. Pinag-aaralan ng mga criminologist yan. Okay, so the criminologists study the kinds of sanctions or incentives that can best protect the environment. The criminologists study the relationship between ideology and power in the making, enforcing, and breaking of laws. Pag-aaralan natin to later. Ang tatlong yan. Ito mo na. A criminologist is a person who studies the causes of crimes, its treatment and prevention. Papaano ba natin malulunasan yung sakit na meron yung kriminal? Yung paggawa nga niya ng krimen, yun yung sakit niya. Gumagawa siya ng krimen. So papaano natin siya matitreat? Paano natin mape-prevent na gumawa pa siya ng krimen? Using scientific methods. So criminologists use scientific principles. They gather data. They create theories. They employ established methods of social inquiry. They conduct experimental designs and then sophisticated data analysis. Kaya, ang trabaho talaga ng isang criminologist, researcher. Kasi nga, di ba, nag-i-study siya ng crimes, criminals, and criminal behavior. And how do you do that? Through research. Kaya nga, ayan no, gather data, create theories. Yan yung mga criminologist. Yung legit. Dito kasi sa Pilipinas, pag katulad namin, di ba, registered criminologist. Pero, ang trabaho, yung iba, pulis. O karamihan, pulis. Di ba? So, well, we can blame it on our curriculum, but still, the actual job of a criminologist is to study, ito nga, causes of crimes, treatment, and prevention. Okay. Eto. Scope of criminology. Merong tatlong scope. The first one is the process of making laws, paggawa ng batas. Or this is also known as the sociology of law. O, first question, sino gumagawa ng batas sa Pilipinas? Police.
Congressman.
Gobyerno.
Si aling
Senator.
parte ng gobyerno? Aling branch?
Senator.
Governor? Senators? Okay, tama yun, senators and other representatives sa Congress. And we call this branch, ano tawag sa branch ng government?
Legislative branch, ma'am.
Legislative. Okay, tama. So we call this the legislative branch. They are in charge of creating or making laws. So, asan ako? There is an association of crime and criminal law. How and why laws are made of great interest to criminologists. This also includes an examination on why some laws are strengthened and some laws are eliminated. Hindi lahat ng batas noon ay gamit pa rin natin ngayon. May mga inabolish na, may mga suspended. Pag sinabing abolished ang isang batas, ibig sabihin, wala na talaga siya. As in, nagbabay na tayo sa kanya. Pag sinabi namang suspended, parang yung estudyante sa school, yung estudyante pa rin siya pero hindi lang siya pinapapasok. Ganon din yung sa batas. Pag sinabing suspended ng law, nandyan ang batas pero hindi lang siya ginagamit. Katulad nung sa death penalty. Yun, suspended yung batas na yun. Okay. Those who specialize in this field may have law degrees and they look at laws and study the social implications of the law. Kaya, dapat, kung gumagawa ka ng batas, dapat abogado ka. Di ba? Kasi, dapat may background ka sa statutory construction. Alam mo kung ano yung mga parte ng batas, paano ginagawa. So, anyway, next is the breaking of laws. Kanina, sabi natin, ang batas, yun, yung process of making laws. But now, we will discuss breaking of laws or criminal etiology. This pertains to the examination of the reasons of crime causation. Bakit nagkakaroon ng krimen? So, technically, nagkakaroon ng krimen kapag may batas na nalabag. Paano kung walang batas? O di walang krimen. There is no crime if there is no law punishing it. Ganyan. There is no crime if there is no law punishing it. So, ang requirement, meron talagang batas na nagbabawal sa isang action. Kasi kung wala namang batas, edi pwede gawin yun. Okay. This pertains to the examination of the reasons of crime causation, which primarily deals to answer issues why, despite the presence of laws, people still commit crimes. This is the area where most people think when they think of criminology. Kasi nga, criminology, root word is crime. So pag sinabi crime, merong lumabag sa batas, merong hindi sumunod sa batas. And it is generally referred to as the area of criminogenesis or etiology, the study of causes or crime causation. This area is the most interdisciplinary one in criminology, and any interest in studying the criminal mind is welcome. regardless of whether their degree is in anthropology, economics, political science, psychology, or sociology. So it is important to note that this specialty area is not concerned with fighting crime or catching criminals more effectively. Inaaral lang talaga kung bakit nagkakaroon ng paglabag sa batas. Kaya ka nga naglagay ng batas, 'di ba? Para maging maayos yung pamumuhay natin. O bakit may lumalabag doon? Yun yung pinag-aaralan diyan. It is concerned with scientific theory and method for uncovering truth. Any insights gained from studying the criminal mind are supposed to be useful in understanding human nature and the society we live in. There is some disagreement about this, however, with so-called clinical applied and praxis criminology, as well as the field of criminal justice, advocating better management, investigation, social change, and systems, respectively. And the third scope of criminology is the reaction towards the breaking of laws or penology. Anong ginagawa natin kapag meron ng nakalabag sa batas? So this pertains to the study of how people, the criminal, the government reacts towards the breaking of laws because the reactions necessarily bring light to the development of modern measures to treat criminal offenders. At the same time, the reaction may be contributory to criminality. Para yun nga, kung ano yung reaction sa na-distract ako, bumabaril na naman sila dito sa Kremlin. Ayun, kung ano nga daw yung mga nagiging reaction ng society or ng law enforcement agencies kapag merong nakakagawa ng krimen. So this area is the most sociological of the three. Bakit sociological? Kasi it involves other members of the society. And specialists here tend to refer to themselves as societal reaction theorists, social response theorists, normative theorists, relativity of crime researchers, or less commonly, as criminologists of criminal justice. Societal reaction theorists study things like media glamorization of crime or the moral boundaries by which communities tolerate crime in their midst. Kasi 'di ba, minsan nase-sensationalize ang isang krimen kasi matindi ang coverage ng media. Pero kung iisipin mo, hindi naman talaga ganun kalaki ang, well, hindi naman sa mababa ang tingin natin sa ibang krimen, no? Pero kumbaga, hindi siya ganun kabigat, pero nagmukhang sobrang bigat ng krimen kasi nga na-sensationalize ng media. Okay. And ayun nga, yung moral boundaries na siniset ng mga communities kung hanggang saan yung kaya nilang itolerate na krimen. Social response theorists are interested in the justifications and consequences. Yun, hindi ko na nabasa. And consequences of different styles of reacting to crime. Normative theorists are interested in the determinants of norms. Pag sinabi nating norms, yung mga normal doon sa society ninyo. Normal na hindi gumagawa ng krimen. Norm yun. Ayan o, kaya nga nakalagay dyan, expectations for behavior. Ano ba yung ine-expect mong pagkilos ng isang tao sa isang society? Yun yung norm. So, ina-expect natin na hindi ka biglang sasapakin ng kung sino lang, di ba? Yun yung norm na hindi tayo bigla-biglang nananapak lang. Kasi nga, expected sa atin na maayos ang pakikisalamuha natin in society. So, since norm violations are often the root cause of both deviance and crime, relativity of crime specialists are interested in whether there is a consensus of public opinion about the seriousness of various criminal acts. Criminologists of criminal justice are often indistinguishable from criminal justice specialists in that they study things like society's carrying capacity. Kung gaano kadami ang kaya nating i-house na mga kriminal sa isang kulungan or police strength. Hanggang saan ang kaya ng pulis na makapanghuli o makapang-aresto ng mga law violators. So, differentiate natin ang criminology and criminal justice. So, when we say criminology, this refers to the study of crime as a social phenomenon. Criminology focuses on the study of crime, criminals, and societal effort to repress and control crime and criminal behavior. While on the other hand, pag sinabi naman natin criminal justice, this refers to the agencies of social control that handle criminal offenders. Kasi, uh, ito na, nasa proseso na yung taong nakagawa ng krimen. Sa criminology, pinag-aaralan lang kung bakit nagkakaroon ng krimen within a society. Sa criminal justice, nandoon na siya sa sistema. Ang pinag-aaralan na dito kung paano hinahandle o paano pinoproseso yung mga offender natin. And then criminal justice scholars engage in describing, analyzing, and explaining operations of the agencies of justice, specifically the police, courts, and corrections. Kaya nga, next may subject kayo, criminal justice system. Introduction to Philippine Criminal Justice System. At pag-aaralan nyo nga doon yung iba't ibang pillars o yung iba't ibang agencies na responsible sa pagpoproseso ng isang kriminal. Mula sa pag-aresto hanggang sa makulong siya, magkaroon ng trial, makulong siya, at makalaya siya, at makabalik siya sa society. Yun, pag-aaralan nyo yun next year. Then, there is an overlapping concern between criminology and criminal justice. So criminal justice scholars cannot begin to design effective programs of crime prevention and rehabilitation without understanding the nature and cause of crime. Okay. Purposes of studying criminology. Bakit natin pinag-aaralan ang criminology? So the study of criminology is aimed towards the following. First, the primary aim is to prevent the crime problem. Kaya tayo nag-aaral ng criminology para hindi na makadagdag sa krimen. Para malaman natin kung paano natin mapipigilan ang mga krimen in the future. And then to understand crimes and criminals, which are basic to knowing the actions to be done to prevent them. To prepare for a career in law enforcement and scientific crime detection. Kaya nga, ang karamihan, pangarap daw nila maging police. Kaya ang tinitake nilang course, criminology. Kasi nga, preparation for a career in law enforcement. And then to develop an understanding of the constitutional guarantees and due process of law in the administration of justice. Because the law that should always be enforced and is it is the anchor of all laws. Doon nakaangkla sa kanya ang lahat ng batas. Yun yung constitution natin. Kapag labag sa constitution ang batas, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yung batas. Kaya nga 'di ba? Kung narinig niyo na yung term na unconstitutional, ibig sabihin hindi sang-ayon sa konstitusyon ang isang bagay. Lalo na sa mga batas kasi tinitignan din yan ng mga judges natin. Okay. And also, to foster a higher concept of citizenry and leadership together with an understanding of one's moral and legal responsibilities to his fellow men, his community, and the nation. Okay, importance of studying criminology. Studying crime is very important. In fact, interest in crime has always been high. However, understanding why it occurs and what to do about it has always been a problem. Hanggang ngayon, problema pa rin yan. Kung ano bang gagawin pagka may gumawa ng krimen or ano bang gagawin para ma-prevent ang crime. The offer of simple solutions for obliterating crime is not enough because of its complexities. Kasi, ang krimen ginagawa Ang isang krimen, isang uri ng krimen, ginagawa sa iba't ibang dahilan. Kaya siya complex. At maaaring sa isang lugar, krimen ang isang action, pero sa ibang lugar, hindi krimen ang isang action. Kaya, complex nga siya. Kumbaga, lagi kang nag-a-adjust. Depende sa circumstance. Kung nasaan ka, yung mga ganung bagay. Okay. But understanding crime as a complex phenomenon can be a source of philosophy of life. The knowledge derived from studying crime is a good foundation for an individual's philosophy and lifestyle. Para may gabay ka kung papaano ka mamumuhay sa mundo. Kaya, yun nga, source of philosophy. It is a background for a profession or for social service, katulad natin. Ito nga ang profession natin. Because criminals are legitimate objects of interest, they should be understood in order to know how to control them. Kasi nga, ang mga kriminal, kumbaga parang special na uri ng mamal sila na kailangan may pag-aaral talaga patungkol sa kanila. They should be understood in order to know how to control them. Kaya sila pinag-aaralan para maintindihan sila. At kapag naintindihan na sila, alam na natin kung paano sila makokontrol, paano natin mababago yung actions nila. And also because crime is a costly problem, magastos kapag may krimen. Bakit magastos? Siyempre, kailangan mo ng pulis. Pagkatapos ng, siyempre yung pulis, pasisweldohin mo. Ano pa, ang pulis gumagamit ng police mobile. So, kailangan mo ng gas. Kailangan mo ng maintenance sa sasakyan. Di ba? Kailangan mo ng baril, ng bala, ng posas. O sabihin na natin, kailangan mo rin ng papel. Kasi magpiprint ka ng mga reports. At yung mga report na yun, dadalhin mo pa sa prosecutor. Si prosecutor, baka mag-conduct pa ng sariling investigation yan. So, meron din siyang gas. Diba? Ang daming gastos. Paano kung walang crime? O di wala tayong gastos. Ganun kasimple. Kaso, mahirap talaga yung gawin. So, the value of property lost, medical expenses, and insurance, moving costs, and intangible costs of pain and suffering is too high as a result of victimization. Hindi mo matatapatan ng pera kapag nabiktima ka. Yung trauma, mahirap bayaran ang trauma. Mahirap maglagay ng specific na fee na katapat ng trauma. Theoretically, crimes should be studied and investigated in order to determine the causes of social disorganization. Practically, the study will give us ways and means of preventing crimes and reforming criminals. The most significant purposes of criminology is its concern for crime and criminals. There is a basic assumption that no one is born a criminal. Walang pinanganak na kriminal, yun ang sabi. At hindi ito namamana. Although merong theory na nagsasabi na mamana yun. Di ba? Complex ang criminology. Reformation is therefore treated as the ultimate object of punishment. Sabi nga natin kanina, kapag ang isang kriminal, yun nga, nakagawa ng krimen, dapat ginagamot siya. So, gagamutin natin siya, hindi natin siya parurusahan. At kapag nagamot na siya, ang term natin, na-reform na natin. Diba? Parang sa computer din. Nire-reformat kapag mabagal na. Pag mabagal na kasi yung computer mo, may sakit na siya, diba? May sumpong na siya. So, ipapa-reformat mo, babaguhin mo siya. Ganun din yung tao. Kapag nakulong na siya, kailangan mo siyang i-treat. And then, ultimately, na-reform mo na siya. Reformation is therefore treated as the ultimate object of punishment, while individualization, individualized understanding and treatment is the preferred method for such reformation, means na ang pagre-reforma sa isang tao ay hindi pwedeng pare-parehas. For example, may mga nakikita ako sa Facebook Merong unggoy, merong isda, tsaka meron atang kabayo. Ganon. Magkakaibang uri ng, ibon. Magkakaibang uri ng hayop. Kapag si teacher sinabi, "O ganito ang paglipad." O syempre si bird mag-e-excel do'n. Pero paano naman yung isda, paano siya lilipad, 'di ba? Flying fish yarn? Hindi naman. Kaya gano'n din daw ang pagtrato, parang gano'n din ang pagtrato natin dapat sa criminals, individualized. Hindi pwedeng iisa lang ang paraan ng pag-treat natin. Hindi yan pwedeng, kunyari, lahat kayo may sipon, no? Ito, gamot, o ito, tuseran. Eh baka yung iba sinisipon kasi allergic pala. So, hindi pwede ang tuseran sa kanya. Ibang uri. Yung pang-allergy dapat ang gamot niya. Ganon dapat ang treatment natin sa criminals. It's individualized. It is specific. Magkakaiba ang binibigay nating treatment sa bawat kriminal. Well, ideally, ganun. Pero, alam niyo naman, gets nyo na. Okay. So, it is important for lawyers when dealing with criminal clients. Yeah. Criminal clients, it helps to understand their mindset and particular circumstances for purposes of giving legal advice as well as for pursuing a logical line of defense. Kailangan, kung abogado ka, magkaroon ka din ng idea sa criminology para mas maintindihan mo yung criminal na either pinoprosecute mo or dinedefend mo para mas makapagbigay ka ng akmang legal advice sa kanila. Tsaka ayan nga, pursuing a logical line of defense. Kung paano mo sila ipagtatanggol. And then, judicial officers din, for purposes of awarding appropriate sentencing, it is important for a judicial officer to not only understand the offender, but the society or community's perception and emotions on given offenses. Law enforcement officers for purposes of investigations, prosecution, surveillance, and crime prevention for those holding criminals such as prison officers. And then we also have social workers, psychologists to understand the criminal more. Kasi nga, again, the ultimate goal is to reform the offender. And we can only reform the offender if we are going to give them specific treatment. And then it enhances official understanding of criminals, offenders, the types and prevalence of offenses committed, generally or specifically by a class of people or in certain localities. This kind of understanding, supported by data, is important for crime detection and control. The government is enabled to plan better in terms of allocation of resources towards fighting different types of crime. Alam niyo naman, actually kahit sa bansa naman, limited ang resources. So, paano mo maximize yung resources na yon? So, kailangan maintindihan mo nga yung criminal. Kung sa tingin mo, madaming gumagawa ng krimen sa isang lugar. So, effective kaya kapag naglagay tayo ng pulis dyan, wala nang krimen? Yung ganon. Kumbaga, efficient use of your resources talaga. Then the ultimate object of criminology is to render a crimeless society. Yun ang goal. But we know, crime would always be part of society. Di maaalis yan. Totally. Ang goal natin siguro, at the very least, malesen, mabawasan yung mga krimen at hindi na maging mabigat yung mga krimen. Sana nakawan na lang ng tsinelas, di ba? O kaya nakawan na lang ng manok ng kapitbahay nyo. Mga ganong krimen na lang. So this is, of course, a very remote possibility, especially considering how many crimes are created and the fact that sometimes very legitimate behavior. Dahil gumagaling din ang kriminal habang nagde-develop ang society, nagkakaroon din ng chance ang kriminal na mag-develop. Diba? Personality development yan. Okay. So here are a few important terms. First is deviance. So deviance is a violation of social norms defining appropriate or proper behavior under a particular set of circumstances. Deviance often includes criminal acts. So pag sinabi nating deviance, it is also a criminal act. It's also a crime. or maaaring hindi siya crime, pero hindi siya parte ng norm. Kunyari, ang batang makulit, o yan, deviant. Wala naman siyang ginagawang krimen, pero deviant siya kasi nga, kung ano yung kilos niya, hindi yan yung ine-expect ng society sa kanya. Deviance, ay na nga, is also referred to as deviant behavior. It is behavior that is sharply different from a customary, traditional, or generally accepted standard. For example, uh, sa school, hindi ka pwedeng pumunta sa school ng naka-shorts, naka-tsinelas, naka-sando lang. Para nasa bahay, di ba? Kasi yung ganong damit, para yung pangbahay yon. Kapag nagpunta ka sa school, hindi pwedeng ganon ang pananamit mo. Kapag pumunta ka sa school at ganon nga ang pananamit mo, deviant ka. Technically, hindi ka naman gumawa ng krimen. Pero hindi siya accepted ng society na hindi pang school yung suot mo. Yun, that's deviance. Then, delinquency. Delinquent means one who fails to do that which is required by law or by duty when such failure is minor in nature. A delinquent is often used to refer to a juvenile who commits a minor criminal act, juvenile delinquent. Yan tawag natin sa mga batang gumagawa ng krimen or merong mga paglabag sa batas. Mga juvenile delinquent. And lastly is juvenile delinquency. It refers to criminal acts performed by juveniles. Most legal systems prescribe specific procedures for dealing with juveniles, such as juvenile detention centers. Iba ang pagproseso natin sa mga bata na nakagawa ng krimen at iba rin yung proseso ng uh, ano to? Kapag matanda ang gumawa ng krimen. Iba, magkaiba sila. So juvenile delinquency may refer to either violent or non-violent crime committed by persons who are under the age of 18 and are still considered to be a minor. Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, ang age of majority natin 18. Kaya pag below 18, o di minor ka. Kasi nga, wala ka pa sa age of majority. Kuha niyo. Ayun. There is much debate about whether or not such a child should be held criminally responsible for his or her own actions. Kasi nga, sinasabi natin, ang bata, hindi pa nila alam ang ginagawa nila. Kaya nga, di ba, wala pa sila sa legal age. So, technically, hindi pa natin sila pwedeng i-hold responsible sa kanilang mga ginawang krimen. Ganon. Pero, kaya nga sabi dyan, ang daming debate. Parang yung pagpapababa ulit ng age of responsibility. Ngayon kasi ang age of responsibility is 18. Di ba? And kapag ikaw ay 16, 17, titignan muna ng korte kung alam mo ba na mali yung ginawa mo. Pero kapag below 16, talagang matik, hindi yan kulong. So, ang plano ngayon, ang proposal is ibabalik sa 9 to 15, no? Ayun.